Plugged in. Delilah's not with me, but she's down, so she's probably going to be whimpering here in just a minute. So I'm probably going to have to leave anyways to go snatch her and put her in my lap. We'll let her see if she can play by herself for just a tidbit while we have coffee. We're having coffee today. So this morning, don't forget the Sonya made this. I love this cup. This is I love this coffee cup. It says wake up, it's gonna be a good day with Bullhorn Betty and Delilah. And then she's got take a bite out of crime. That's just too cute. I just hit the phone with my nose. Do I have any foam on my nose? Anyways, guys, listen to this. So I kind of got an idea of what's going on here. So, I was, like I said, don't be beating up Nick. I was a little concerned. I didn't know what was going on. I did not realize Nick was working with Dog, the bounty hunter. So, this is good morning, Jamie Lynn. Don, it's nice to see you. Stacy, good morning. Turtle Madness. I want to give you a big old hug. I haven't seen you in a while. Melissa, Brenda, me and you, Dee's mystery obsessed. I gotta make sure because my reading, right? Wendy, good morning. Donna, it's nice to see you. All of my beautiful mods that will be coming in, it's nice to see you. So what do you guys think? Like Dog the Bounty Hunter is entering the case. Him and Nick the Hat. It sounds like ponied up some significant funds, matched the FBI funds. We now have $100,000, some serious money on the table right now to help aid in finding out what happened to Sebastian Rogers. Michelle, it's nice to see you. Lisa, Sunstar, Titch, DNA, it's nice to see you. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning. Icy, it's nice to see you. Danelle, is it Danelle? Hopefully I said that right. Good morning to you. Peggy, Jules, good morning. Good morning. Another Jules? Jules, it's nice to see you. Jules33, I was actually considering, should I go live on TikTok and make a video, or should I go live on YouTube? And I'm like, I've been live on YouTube a little minute, but I didn't do really too. I only did one live yesterday. You guys had me more the day before, and yesterday I was supposed to be doing a lot of work, but the yard's done, right? I mean, the yard is finally done. It's got, and the ride lawnmower is not working, but I hired the Mohawk guy, right? The one that gave me the Mohawk the last time on my yard, to do it. I got to change out the starter and the rider, and of course I got the new weed eater. So I think once I get the rider up and running and get the tire replaced, then the starter replaced, I think my yard will be manageable. It shouldn't take me, because it only takes me, I don't know, like 15 minutes to mow the yard on the rider. The yard man was here for 4 hours yesterday. 4 solid hours. Stacy, it's nice to see you. Phil, Vermont girl, good morning, my love. Good morning. Oh, Seth is up early this morning. Good morning, Seth. $100,000, buddy. $100,000. This is some serious money now on the table. Hopefully, there's got to be, there's people that aren't as well off as some of the people are. So I have to think that this money's significant. I'm hoping the phones are starting to ring off the hook. It's nice to see you, Tina, Melissa, me and you. Hopefully I said hi to you. I'm pretty sure I did, but just in case I didn't, hey. Hey. Did you get an email with, yes, I did, and I still can't, it still seems piecemealed. It doesn't seem like it's the full doc, and that, I always like to see the full doc. I don't like the cropped image. I like to see what the document title is. What was it for? Is it an affidavit? Is it discovery? What is it? I don't think they will ever find him, honestly. A lot of people said that about Quentin Simon when they went into the landfill. And I kept saying, you know what? The landfill's logistics are amazing. They have some really logistical programs that can tell, you know, what community was trash was dumped in what location of that landfill. It's pretty interesting. A lot of people said that they've never heard of anybody being located in a landfill. I have. And I know what goes into it. Actually learned it on Joe Kenda. You guys remember the homicide detective, Joe Kenda? It was one of his stories that they walked through. And that's how I learned about the amazing logistics at landfills. And he was successful at recovering someone from the landfill. And the Quentin Simon, you know, we were there and everybody was like, they're never gonna find him. They're never gonna find him. I'm like, you don't understand. If he's there, they'll find him. They just got to keep digging. You know, it's mounds and mounds. I wish they would come up with a new law that when a child goes missing, that, you know, the landfills have to segregate the trash up to that point. You know, keep that in, you know, just segregated. And there's a, you know, it's a landfill. So they do this all the time. They just reroute them to a different part of the landfill to dump the rest of the garbage and stuff like that, and, you know, process it that way. But, you know, that's not the case. I think that if that was the case, we would find a little bit more, because I do believe a lot of people utilize trash and landfills to hide some of their skeletons in their closet, right? So I don't think he's in the landfill. I never quite got that. I don't know why they went to the landfill. Apparently there was something a little heavier in the dumpster. Apparently, you know, they weight that stuff, because usually you're charged by the cubic foot or the cubic yard, or by the weight of the dumpster. From my understanding, I've had to have construction dumpsters delivered, and I remember it wasn't like a set fee for that dumpster. You had lots of different fees on the dumpster, you know, weight and dumping, you know, the actual them coming and picking up and clearing it out fees. So I don't know. I don't think he was out there. I think something else they were looking for. I don't know if they ever found it. You know, I don't recall seeing any them coming out with bags and bags of evidence or anything from the landfill. I just don't recall. It was so long ago. If you guys remember that or have any footage of that, why don't you guys send that to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. But this reward, then it's legit. It's a legit reward. So the reward amount now is $100,000. So it's going to change someone's life if we can lead to the safe return of Sebastian Rogers or those responsible for his disappearance. Dog is everybody know he's a hunter, right? He's been doing this for many years. They've had a show, Dog the Bounty Hunter. It had many seasons. Beth Chapman, his prior wife, you know, she succumbed to cancer, and you know, since then life has been much different for the family. Nick the Hat, you know, I was a little, like I said, he's a nice guy. I didn't want to, you know, dog him or anything. I was just curious as to what was going on. It sounds like he really wants to help aid in Sebastian's search, and with the help of Dog, I really think that they can make a huge impact on this case. For the betterment of this case. And I'm very curious because, you know, Dog, he has no problem asking questions. He has no problem finding associates. He has no problem talking to those associates. He has no problem looking to find out where people were. I don't know what his strategy is as far as the search strategy. I haven't spoken to either one of them, so it would be quite difficult to identify that. But I think this is great news. You know, many of you know that Sebastian Rogers disappeared on February 26th from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been seen since. There's been a lot of speculation, rumors, you know, facts that have come out early on in this case that didn't make sense to many of us. You know, we're very concerned about this young boy's safety and his health. So we've got a lot of questions here with not so many answers. So where do we go from here, right? What do we do now? My suggestion, just saying, my suggestion, I think it's time to formulate search parties and start searching. I truly believe Sebastian is out there. I truly believe he can be found. I think it's going to take a lot of people, a lot of strategy. It's going to take a lot of identifications of potential areas that could really lead to hopefully Sebastian at the end of the day. Hopefully Sebastian. I love that the bounty hunter stepped in too. It's bringing a national presence to the case. It's making Sebastian's name get out there further. Somebody, and I don't even want to say somebody, people. I feel like people know what happened to this boy. I feel like people from, from areas, I just feel like there's information out there that needs to be had. Even people that may not even realize that they have the nugget of information that's going to break this case wide open. Not necessarily, yeah, did you see anything that is problematic for you? It's just that, between the 25th and the 26th, or the 26th through the 28th, did you see anything that, was out of the ordinary? Nothing that really caused alarm or concern, but just didn't seem right that you recall. Think about those things. Think about, was there something that happened that didn't make sense at the time and you kind of blew it off and just didn't think about it? And the reason why I'm asking this, because remember I talked about the guy, I think the car guy named the case, where he was on the side of the road and he was using a grinder, the, I don't know what you call it, where the tree limbs, and you put it in the big machine and it chips it up, the chipper. And it was hanging over. He thought that guy was a county employee. It was pouring down rain. He had no idea who this person was, but when he looked at the image of the vehicle or something like that, I can't remember what prompted him. I watched this segment a while ago. But this guy was like, you know what? I actually had a weird event, something that happened. And he told the investigators, look, I was coming home. It was pouring down rain. There was a vehicle on the side of the road. It looked like it was broke down or something like that. Don't, for all these details, don't do your research, because I'm piecemealing it and I'm going off memory. So I'm sure something is inaccurate with what I'm saying. But it was basically something along those lines. And then they realized that the truck belonged to the husband, and they did end up finding the receipt for the chipper from the rental company, and they were able to go get the chipper, and they were able to test it. And the testing, and this was by just one lone person that happened to be driving by this situation. Maybe somebody thought somebody was broke down on the side of the road. Maybe they were near a bridge. Maybe they were in a desolate area. This is not something that's, super suspicious. People break down all the times. Vehicles run out of gas, especially on, bridges, highways, anywhere, right? Look at Stephen Smith. He was the boy that's associated with the Alec Murdaugh case. And he was in the middle of the road deceased, and it was unexplained. Many people thought that he was unalived because of his sexual proclivities, and that he was targeted as a hate crime and unalived and just dumped. And of course, Ken Kenzie, he was an investigator. He put stuff together for the Alec Murdaugh prosecution that helped convict Alec, and he went out there and did this crime scene reenactment and stuff like that. And lo and behold, it really was an accident. It's a I think it's more on the on the realm of like vehicle homicide because it sounds like whoever may have hit him was in a pickup truck, and may have been intoxicated. We heard the rumors about somebody driving by and seeing he thought he had hit a deer. We haven't heard of any arrest in Stephen Smith's case, but it sounds like whoever that person was is known to law enforcement. And it sounds like, according to Ken Kenzie's report, it was most likely the mirror, right? The mirror. A lot of these trucks have those metal mirrors. They're much larger than car mirrors. They stick out a little further than a car mirror because you got a big full-size truck that you need to see around and to the back. So they have kind of, so it sounds like they think it's that or something attached to a truck, like a bucket or a ladder. Now, I've been injured by a ladder. Many of you know I've been in construction. I used to do electrical. I've done drywall. I've done a lot of stuff. And I can tell you I've had ladders fall on me. I've been hit by ladders. I've been knocked in the head with ladders. I've, and this is from childhood on up. I have been in the construction world since 2 years old, believe it or not, on job sites. And so every type of ladder injury that you can imagine, just about, I've had. And I can tell you, I do not, and I'm saying this wholeheartedly, do not believe that it's any type of ladder. Maybe a bucket, like a painter bucket, not the little ones like the 5-galloners. Even empty can, how they have the empty ones that they hang off the truck. They usually use them for water or something like that. Something that size, might have caused that. But I really think it's the mirror, the side mirror. They stick out further. Typically, most of those are metal when you get to certain size trucks. So you wouldn't have the the breaking of the plastic on them. Most of the cars and SUVs, the casing on the outside of the side mirrors are plastic or fiberglass, and they tear apart if they hit somebody. But on trucks, it's a little different. So and that would be almost like a square. It'd be flat. That really seems like what would be able to hit the back side of the head and crush that in without leaving any debris. Because I feel like even a plastic bucket at a certain, hitting something that hard to cause that kind of injury would have shattered, or something would have broke, leaving some trace evidence of some sort at that location, and there was none. So that's why it's leading me to believe that the mirror was metal and it hit him in the back of the head as he went by. And the person behind the wheel most likely was intoxicated and didn't even realize this was a boy in the road, and thought it was some type of animal. So again, the whole purpose of that dissertation is that there may be some event that isn't even out of the ordinary. It just wasn't a common event that people may have just disregarded as a broke down vehicle, as something that just normal, that we see every single day on the side of the road. We've got several vehicle types. We've got SUVs from Infinities to pickup trucks. So we know the colors of these vehicles, most of the vehicles that are in question here. Did you see anything that may resemble those vehicles in any of your travel? Did you see anything out of the ordinary around the weekend, that after the child went missing, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday? Was there any weird phenomenons? Did you guys see any truck, car, SUV that was broke down or appeared to be broke down, or had flashing lights in a weird spot, on the side of the road, on a bridge in the Sumner County area? Those are all interesting. If you live out in that area and you were around on the 26th, or you were commuting to work, if you saw any type of broke down vehicle on your way to work, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Send it to the FBI. I don't know if they want to go on a fishing wild goose chases. That's why I'm saying, because I know what I'm looking for, and I know if it's something that's important. Dog the Bounty Hunter, Nick the Hat, they all have ways to contact them to review information. And it's all hands on deck in this case to help find answers and leads to the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers. I have maintained and will continue to maintain on this channel. We do this work as a labor of love from the support of the true crime community here. If we ever are in a situation where this channel has found something that leads to a reward, we do not keep those rewards. Any type of reward this channel would ever receive will go to the families. That has been something we have stated from the beginning of starting this endeavor out in the true crime genre. We are not here to find rewards or get rewards and keep those rewards. If we ever did find anything that leads to finding someone or their whereabouts, and that is and there's a reward attached, just know in your heart and soul that reward, no matter what the amount is, $2,500, $100,000, $1 million, those things will go directly to the family. If there's no family member, like in the Summer Wells case, if something happened and mom and dad were complicit in the disappearance of that child, then those funds would be sent over to a nonprofit organization. And honestly, for me, it would probably be spread out with some local organizations here in my community, as well as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. But there is one tiny organization that's very near and dear to my heart here in this county, and it's Feeding Little Tummies. So that's the only catalyst to that. If we ever did receive a reward, the majority would go over to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, but also a portion of that would be going toward Feeding Little Tummies here in my community. Good morning. It's nice to see you guys. Morning, Seth. Hope God you're not taking notice of half the crap some of these creators are spewing out. Yeah. You know what? It's just turning the channel, which I wish most people would do. If I don't like content, I don't watch it. I pretty much tune out like 90% of the garbage on here, because I know that these people have no education in the subject matter. I know that they really don't have a good understanding of the law. They don't have a good understanding of police practices and procedures. They can't, they have to be told what to think. It's, I don't like, we have a good understanding of the procedures. We understand what's kind of entailed in, missing person children, what the responsibility of law enforcement, what we expect from the parents, all these other things. We follow the behavior of the police and their activities when there's no information, because it really does provide us a lot of information. A lot of people don't look at these things. A lot of people don't know at these things. And it's very important that people understand that you can't get factual information from people that have no common sense or no education into the subject matter. And that's just what the name of the game is. And that's really why they spend more time insulting people than actually talking to them about stuff that really matters, that people need to understand. One of the reasons why I say we're in a full-fledged criminal investigation related to the Sebastian Rogers case is because of the behavior of law enforcement, them shutting up, them shutting down, them not really having a whole lot of information. But typically we have somebody that's feeding some type of information to the community, their surrounding community and otherwise, just to keep some of the pressure off of them. And it's a very good strategy, to be honest with you, because when you go too long without press conferences and you go too long without informing the public, people are left to their own devices, and a lot of people's brains can be very creative, right? We watch movies, we watch, some really out, we're just we're very creative, and we can manufacture a lot of creativity in our brains. And this is a direct result of trying to put pieces together without information, conjecture, so to speak. And I think that that's a lot to do here. There's not a whole lot of new information. When there's not a lot of new information, the uneducated start attacking, eating each other alive to make content, to make drama, to whatever they do. I'm not like that. I like to go through. I like to keep going back. I like to keep going over. I like to keep reviewing, observing. Every time we go to any type of interview, we always, and this is across the board with any case that we cover, every time we watch an interview, at least an interview with some time that's lapsed, right? So we watch this interview at this time, and then a month later we come back to the interview, and it's like, holy crap, I didn't get that. I didn't see that. I didn't pick up on that. For example, the noise thing. Sebastian not really, having noise issues, not liking certain noise, probably loud noises. I'd have to think, jolting noises, it seems, because let's face it, a garage door, when you first hit the button, and so it's the jolting part of it, that might be the reason why he didn't like the garage door. I don't know. I've never met Sebastian. It's sad that we learn about this child this way, that the way we're watching him grow up through the help of his father, in the videos that he's put out, like the video at SeaWorld, that was a really cute video. I think seeing Sebastian there dancing and just, letting his hair hang down, so to speak, I think that was very endearing to most of us. Seeing those baby pictures, I think was very endearing. He's humanized for many of us. Many of my audience have autistic children themselves. They see their own child in Sebastian Rogers, and this is very personal for them. There was such an overwhelming amount of parents that came forward. One of the reasons why I have such a strong connection to Mr. and Mrs. E is because they have a son. Their story's beautiful, though. They were told their son would never ever talk. And I can tell you, when I saw them at the rescue ride, I shook their son's hand and he said, "Hi, Bullhorn Betty." So he's speaking now, and everything that they, the blood, sweat, and tears that they had to put in to be told that their child would never speak, and to hear him saying hi, this is really personal for a lot of the people in this chat, this case. They've had the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs with their own children that have some type of disabilities, and could never even imagine, with all of the extra stress. And let's be honest, when you have a disabled child, you can't think that these parents' lives are easy. They adjust. They love their children so much that they adjust to life. They make it work, and they know what sacrifices they've given for their children. And so it's super personal. And hearing somebody like Dog the Bounty Hunter truly step in, and we know he is a searcher. He's not SF. He's not a crackpot wannabe PI. This is a man that has a proven track record of tracking people down. This is somebody that has the actual resume to stand up and say, not somebody that has to manufacture, "Oh, I found 15 people in 2 years." So we've got in my opinion, muscle coming in, right? We have muscle coming in, and not only just muscle coming in, $100,000 is the reward. That's this community. Yes, Hendersonville is the suburbs, kind of. Gallatin is a nice community, but it's not Hendersonville, right? And there's some people, it doesn't even matter if you are fairly wealthy in that area. $100,000 is $100,000. That's a lot of money, even to, a person of some affluence. So hopefully the anonymous calls start coming in. Hopefully the people that have some information that are terrified to talk about it. Call in. Remain anonymous. They're still going to offer you the reward if it leads to the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers. You know? And what I found out is that law enforcement typically, how they do this is, you know, when the tip comes in, most of these people that are the tipsters and stuff never have to go to court, because once the child is found, the case is going to be built based on what they found. Most of those people that call in the tips are removed from the court proceedings because it's irrelevant to the matter. They can build the case once the child's found, whether if the child was kidnapped, abducted, whether a child is, not here anymore. Once they find and locate the child, then they get to working on the investigation and holding those people accountable. Typically, and that's what the biggest concern is the tipster having to be drug into court and having to be exposed and all this other stuff. I can tell you, in many cases, that's not the case. You'll never see the light of a courtroom. They build the case based on what they found, not who called it in. So keep that in the back of your mind for those that have information that are, concerned of being known, concerned of, being a target or something like that. I can't imagine anybody that is helping this case being a target. You know what I'm saying? I really just can't. I mean, Seth, of course, with the hate channels and stuff but that's other stuff. That's other, that's more of a petty personality conflict and, a fallout, right? So for the typical person, they would be applauded on these streets for finding any information. I don't see them being attacked. But it's definitely a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money. And if it's a family member of yours, I'm sorry, but, right is right and wrong is wrong. And now you have $100,000 to do the right thing. There are many people that are living paycheck to paycheck. There are many people that can't afford insurance. There are many people that are having problem putting groceries on their table right now. We're living in an economy that is robbing the people blind. We have a regime that's robbing the people blind, okay? And quite frankly, they're padding their pockets at the expense of all of ours. People are struggling in this economy. People, need financial help. Somebody has some information that needs financial help. Right? So why don't you solve both problems? Relieve your mind, body, and soul, and be paid for doing so. Good morning, Pebbles, and all of my mod squad. Oh, Paralegal Liz is in the house. I almost want to give you a hug. It's funny that you were saying about us going to eat. It popped up on my, the iPhone, how they have like the pictures that selects a picture or something. It popped up on that. It popped up on that after you said that. It was funny. It was Big Brother-ish, but it was funny. Like, oh, look at it. Brenda, I'm still stuck on the fact. Told CP, the church thing. Yeah. Yeah. But was that to throw people off? Because I think that was the same person that's told everybody to go up north. We had a half an hour without her bothering us, but she is officially down there. Let's see if I can throw her a treat. She took it and ran under the bed. Awesome. Good morning, Stormy. It's nice to see you. Oh, Pink, it's nice to see you. I bet someone's not sleeping good. I gotta say, if I was involved in a case and knew something detrimental that could have me in trouble, or knew something about a friend or a family member that could be in trouble, I gotta say, I would have a few sleepless nights if I found out Dog the Bounty Hunter. I mean, he knows his stuff. I remember he's found I'm pretty sure he's been asked to come in by law enforcement on several escaped inmates. I remember seeing him searching for an escaped inmate. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he actually... It didn't work. She must have taken the treat under the bed and left it. I might have to get down and get her. Aww. I'm just talking to some friends. You want to say hi? She rules the roost. What can I say? Hey, Pepper. It's nice to see you. Serenity. Big Mac Mike up in the house. Gigi, Leah, or Lee. Is it Leah? Melissa, it's nice to see you all. I may have to jump down. You guys may have to excuse me because Delilah is... She's whimpering. She wants to be with mommy. Guys, give me a second. The phone might drop on me. I'm going to try to move without dropping the phone. Give me just a second. How did you get more tissue? What is with you and the tissue? What is with you and the tissue? What do you want me to see? It's not time to run here. There we go. Yay! You fall for it every time. You fall for it every time. I still need to... Hey, I'm not ready for you. I got to get you situated. Good gracious. There we go. Hopefully, and she's looking at me like she's ready to play. So I don't know how well this is going to go. Maybe we can get her to settle down. Whoop! Maybe we can get her to settle down, but I have a funny feeling we're not going to get her to settle down. I think we're just going to have to deal with her being in a very playful mood at the moment, which she is definitely in a very much playful mood. So, and the hair just started sticking up. Where were we? So, yeah, I would be a little, have some sleepless nights because Dog knows his stuff. He's the reason why we know Dog knows his stuff is because many of us watched him for years and years and years, tracking people, doing investigation, having to hunt down information, right? Some of these cases he had, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars for bonds. And he's on the hook for those. If he doesn't bring those people in, he's got to hunt them down, right? He's got to hunt information down to locate them. This is a man that has many years of experience. How long were they on the air? They were on the air for many years. So, and I got to think that he's even been not having the show and stuff, he's still been doing the same stuff. I mean, his business didn't go under, they still, from my understanding, still own everything. TBI is executing a search warrant for police. I looked into the Millersville thing. This is what I talked to a few people, okay? And we'll just call them sources, okay? I talked to a few people. So this sounds like that this police department, there is kind of political, semi-political in nature. It sounds like this police department was illegally investigating things outside of their jurisdiction related to politicians and ST with those politicians, or conspiracy theories that this group of politicians are in this business or something like that. There's some more to it than just that. But that's what I think it's. I don't think it has anything whatsoever to do with the Sebastian Rogers case. This seems like it is a political warfare, if you will, in a sense. I don't know what they're thinking that this chief of police did, but it seems like a lot of the things that this chief of police was saying were conspiracy theories about certain politicians in Tennessee. We learned that they have, that there's Tennessee is just different. We'll leave it at that. But I don't think Martinsville has anything to do with this. It sounds like it's It's some type of political rivalry, some political stuff. It doesn't sound anything related to this, but keep your eyes open. You never know. You never know. But I did look into it. It doesn't have anything to do with the Sebastian Rogers case. It's definitely inner turmoil, if you will, in the city and county and state and stuff like that. So I found it awful. You know, I have to. I don't know the circumstances or what's going to be found in the search, but there were spokespersons that said that they believe this is a political witch hunt. It is pretty close to November elections. You know, is this something along those lines? It's possible. You know, I've seen a lot in politics. Believe me, a lot. And politics is dirty. It is disgustingly dirty. So you guys know I've talked about it in the past on my shows, you know, how swampy and slimy politics are. You know, I'm in it. That's what I think what helps me with all the attacks and stuff that I get on social media, because I'm used to it in the political realm. And it's just one of those things, you know, you usually just let it roll off the back, no big deal. Some of these things here on this thing are more personal. They don't keep it above the you know, they kick below the belt, so to speak. On YouTube, they go real life. You know, in politics, yeah, you go to the mattress, you know, publicly and stuff like that, but you really don't. You try not to hit some of, you know, it's getting a little more swampy, but it's trying to get cleaned up. We'll see. But I think this is more in line with something like that than anything to do with a missing 15-year-old autistic boy. Unfortunately, we want answers. You know, whatever those answers are. You know, I think at this point, the unknown is worse than the known, no matter what the known will be, you know, at this point. So I really do believe, I hear you guys, I'm monitoring it. I'm not just making an assessment on the whim and leaving it alone. I am monitoring the situation, but so far nothing, and I mean nothing, is hitting with this case at all. Dog has always gotten answers, and we'll find out what happened. Does every time. Good morning, BHB and Coffee Club. I got my coffee. Well, forever, Nikki's mom. It's nice to see you. Southern, good morning. Good morning. Grace upon Grace, good morning. Mitzi, it's nice to see you this morning. So what do you, what do we have here? Oh, our RT to go. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Let me just see what else. I see there's another one here, but I didn't see it. Huh. Interesting. Oh, and Serenity. I told my husband I would turn him in for a Now that's funny. That's funny, Serenity. Oh. You should tell, hey, car guy, it's nice to see you. Would you turn me in for 100K? No, I'm just joking. If I did anything wrong, you know me, law and order. Law and order comes first, right? Law and order comes first. Samantha, it's nice to see you. Yes, you do. You do, and us real people, not scared to be real, to stick together. Exactly. Hey, Steffers, it's nice to see you. Somebody sent me a picture of a shop, and it was the Coffee Beans or something like that. It's a coffee house. Our name's on a coffee house. I wouldn't go to Dylan Round's dumping location where he was disposed of. It made Jim mad. I told him where to go. Well, I gotta tell you, that case really upset me, the Dylan Rounds case. That was equally with Box Shelter or whatever, Box Elder Police or Sheriff's Office. You know, they weren't really hip on forensics, right? And I gotta tell you, you guys saw how small it is. I don't even know how many people they have. 1,000? You know, and that whole entire, I mean, it's desolate out there, right? It's just desolate. Where Dylan Rounds was unalived. But they kept his shoes in their car, in their hot car, I think for like a week or two. They didn't turn it over. They didn't turn it over to the state police or the FBI or whoever needed to be turned over to for forensic testing. And he can deteriorate some stuff. So I know that there was a lot of issues. You know, the family was trying to keep hope, but there were some internal issues, behind the scenes issues with the family and the law enforcement out there due to the handling of the evidence. I remember that plain as day. Oh, by the way, that's another family that SF decided to go public and say he's going to expose the mom. You see a theme with him? He was threatening Dylan's mom that he was going to expose her. He threatened Layla Santinello's mom that he was going to expose her. He has basically stated that Seth is an unaliver of his son. This guy is a crackpot. I don't know how he's got the following he does, but there are some, you guys have got, I know it's not my channel, right? But at some point, people have got to realize that this guy is a bozo. And he's not in it for the victims. He's only in it for himself in attention. Like, nothing he has ever said has come true. Have you guys noticed that? Dylan Rounds, he was wrong. Layla Santinello, he was wrong. This case, he's wrong. I mean, wrong. But hey, whatever. Keep putting him on you know, all these things. All he wants is attention. He's not doing anything to help. As a matter of fact, he's doing just the opposite of helping. He's causing more problems. If he's a SARS searcher, tell him to get his ass out there and search, and leave the investigative to the investigations to the actual, you know, investigators. Just saying. He is sus. He is sus, lady. Absolutely. It was, Diane. It broke your heart because, you know, he wasn't a normal teenager. Like, you know, for most of us, it takes us a long time to figure out which direction we want to go in life, right? And this young boy knew. You know, he bought his own farm at 19 years old. It's like, you know, this boy knew what he wanted to do. He had a passion and a love of farming. And he started out so young, and he was working on, I think, his very first crop. He was super excited about it. And look at what happened. Just this really amazing kid, very smart. A lot of people spread a lot of rumors without any scintilla of receipts. You know, I don't know if this man was gay or anything like that, nor does it really matter, but people were passing around that this guy that was his friend was doing unsavory things with him or stuff like that. I remember it. I don't remember the specifics. You do your own research on it. And I just thought, you know, how sad. You know, this is a boy that was just trying to do something he loved. Something terrible happened to him. And all these conspiracy theories and damaging friends that that took care of him when he got too drunk or whatever, and really smeared them for no other reason than they thought it, so it had to be true. It's just, it was so sad. The Kurt Wadsworth, yeah. So I'm very thankful that Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter has worked to increase this reward. We need to be passing this around. We need to get information coming in. You know, now that I have a good understanding of what those numbers are, what they're doing, I'm much more comfortable today than I was, you know, 2 days ago when the $25,000 was breaking. I hope I hope this elicits what it needs to elicit, because somebody has to know something. Somebody has to know something. Remember in Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner's case, you know, the guy that worked with Crystal, Adam, the one that ultimately is the one that committed this crime. He unalived himself about a month or so after these girls were unalived. We kind of knew his name within 24 hours of going to Moab, Utah. We identified him early on in the case as being a potential suspect because he was very close. He had a confrontation with Crystal at the store. It almost came to blows. And then immediately after the girls were killed, he disappeared, and he was homeless just like they were. And he left his check at McDonald's. And no homeless person that's hard up for money can afford to leave a check. And he left a check behind. That was a very big red flag for us. But he told people what he did. There were people that he broke down because it was so hard to deal with, even though he did it. But he told people what had happened. He had gotten drunk one night and had loose lips. So I really do believe that somebody knows something. I believe somebody has overheard something. I think somebody saw a vehicle somewhere, stopped on the side of the road, broke down, something. You need to you need to go back. What happened on the 26th? What happened on the weekend after that? The Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of those next few days. Did you see anything that may not have been unusual or out of the ordinary, just odd? Neighbors have said there's other surveillance that picked up. Oh. Can you send me the clip of that or the video of that for me to preview, DNA? SPED teacher, good morning, my love. I hope you're having a great day. All right, guys, I've got a long day today. I'm probably not going because I've got this legal paperwork I've really got to draft. I'm drafting it, but I've got to proofread it. I've got to make modifications to it. I've got to do a lot with it. It's taking me several days to do it, so I'm hoping that we're going to be talking about this a lot more. This $100,000, I want to definitely promote this $100,000, promote Dog the Bounty Hunter being involved in this case and how that is going to help. And plead and beg, because I know I've got people out in the Hendersonville, Sumner County community that tunes into the show. If you know something, if you saw something, say something. You could be the recipient of $100,000. This is life-changing money, okay? And is it going to get you the Taj Mahal? No. But in our economy, this is about as much as $1 million to me, right? So you need to look at it from that lens. This can help a person that has, there's, again, farmers, store owners. Did you see something? Is something on your cameras? Go back. If you work for a major store, or you're on, at a major store off the interstate, off I-40, say, have your, I don't know, go back if you can. Go back in your videos if you can. If you have one of those officers, I always forget the name of it. The theft officers, whatever they call them, they're the ones that have access to the archived videos. The days that aren't that they do. A lot of people do keep these videos, like say Walmart. They keep these. I think they keep these videos stored for a year, maybe 2. I don't know how long they keep these videos stored, but it's not one of those systems that's recorded over daily. So maybe other people have that. Maybe they have the ability to go back and preview, again, the 26th, the morning from the 25th into the 26th. If you have the ability, if you're at work and you have access to it and it's slow, go through the videos. See if there's anything. See if there's absolutely anything that you see. If you see something, say something. If you know something, say something. This is a 15-year-old boy that has been fighting for his life since the day he was born. Since the day he was born. Please, the neighbors and the people around the area know something. There's $100,000 at stake here. That's a good point. The neighbors, and the other community that I believe that a vehicle may have drove through. You know, they have a lot of Ring doorbell cameras and stuff like that. Somebody has to have seen something. Maybe they didn't even realize what they were seeing was what they were seeing, or that they have this information. Just sit and think. If you were up, if you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, you're heading to work and you're in this area, was anything out of the ordinary? Call it in. Call it in. I'll be posting the new flyer of the $100,000 reward shortly after this live ends. I want to thank everybody for coming here. I'm Bullhorn Betty. Don't forget to hit the like button. It really does help this channel grow. It helps people see this, this show. And my only request to the community is please speak up. Again, this is a boy. What would you do if it was your child? What would you want the community and the people around the community to do if it was your kid? Sometimes the hardest things to do in life is the right thing. We all have to do it. It's not easy, and it's hard. But you're going to have to live with your secrets the rest of your life. Are you going to be able to do that without injuring yourself? A lot of people that hold secrets like this inside start drinking heavily, start using, substances and stuff. Just relieve yourself of the stress. Come forward. It's really worth it for you to come forward. And I'm pretty confident you're going to stay anonymous. And that's people's biggest concern. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Thank you so very much for being here. Pass me around, share me, and hopefully we get some more answers with the help of Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter. More to come. I'll keep you guys up to date on this developing story with Dog the Bounty Hunter in the near future. God bless.